Ahoy Pirates! One Piece Film Red is coming to theaters starting November 4th. We sat down with the cast and spoke with them about what would their character wear for Halloween? What kind of pirate would they be? What did they do differently this time around for the film? And a lot more. All right, starting things off fun. What would your character wear for Halloween?
Not a straw hat anymore, I guess. And someone made off with mine.
I'm forever dressed up as you.
That's valid. I
think Luffy would want to be Frankie. Frankie's got all the cool gadgets. I can totally see him like making out of cardboard all of the Frankie gadgets and putting them together.
I like it.
I would say Law is unquestionably always like on the cusp of fashion. Like he just has such a distinct like walk the runway, in New York type style to him. I think for Halloween he dress in like jeans and a t-shirt, like really just kind of mix it up and get weird.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, Brandon, are you rethinking your answer now, or you're good with the?
I don't know. Maybe I would go as a really cut rate buggy, but only if I was a round buggy. Just
all right,
just to bug him.
Now there have been so many episodes, quite a few films. What did you feel you brought new to this film? Or did anything surprise you this time around?
I thought the music was so awe-inspiring. I had nothing to do with that, clearly. But I thought they brought, the creators brought a new element into the movie that we all got to kind of celebrate as we were watching it. And as an actor who gets to see the finished product before I add my voice to it, it's pretty amazing to get to lead into the moments with that kind of swelling of music and like the action that the music gives you. That's just an element that we hadn't really had before.
Yeah, could have said it better myself.
The rest of the room is like, ditto. Yes.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the music, do you have a particular favorite song? And I know maybe picking something might spoil stuff, but if there's any way you want to describe it or any song that you're like, yes, that.
I don't know the names of songs.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I was like, I can't find him.
No, I don't know the names of songs, but I know that they're on Spotify. Brina does the sort of English arrangement, so I got notified when they went online.
Top Musica. She did Top Musica. That one I know.
Is that right?
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's like that's great. Yeah, that might be my favorite.
I didn't realize they were on Spotify, but that makes complete sense. I have to go add the playlist now.
Check it out.
Now, it's come up in the other press rooms. Did you know that all the songs had different composers?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I didn't.
Which makes sense of why they're all so kind of different. Yeah, so a couple of people have mentioned that. It's like, interesting.
That's awesome. I had no idea.
That's really cool.
They feel really cohesive, but they do have completely different emotional jangle to them. Like each one sets you off in a different way, or looks like it sets her off in a different way. So I can totally see that. That's awesome.
Now
they made use of her range.
Yes, indeed. Now, y'all have been pirates for quite some time. If you were a pirate in real life, what kind of pirate would you be?
I would really want to be like Shanks because he has that, he's easy, he's laid back, he has like a real moral compass. He exists in a cruel world, but is always kind and places family and friends above all else. I think I would like to be that kind, but probably I would be a really annoying jerk, like
I was going to say.
Yeah.
I would like to think that I'd be Robin Hood, but I think I'd be like the hedonist who goes around stealing food and books.
Yeah.
Old manuscripts and food and just like sneak off on my ship all by myself.
I respect that. I would say of all the pirates in media or history that I could identify with personally, I'd probably be more of like a Stede Bonnet from Our Flag Means Death. I'd be the one that goes around like teaching pirates about emotions and like how we can support each other.
Yeah.
Like cook a
That's
nice meal
very
for each
you.
other. That'd be me in a nutshell. And I'd probably be put on the plank and killed within a month. That's exactly my trajectory, and I stand by it.
Yeah, that's very you.
Nice. Now, Colleen, you've been with Luffy for quite some time. How did you originally find the voice, and how do you keep coming back to it?
Originally, it was just that is the boy voice I can do. I had done one boy voice before, which was me. I learned how to do that from Laura Bailey, who was my best friend and roommate, and she like had to walk me down that plank because it was not I didn't come to it naturally. But then once I found that, Mike heard that and got me to audition for Luffy. And I actually was sitting at a kind of not quite as gruff of a place for Luffy. And when they sent in the auditions with me as his choice for Luffy, the licensor Toei or Oda requested that the voice be gruffer. And so we gruffed it up and took it away from like a more natural boy voice to a scrappier boy voice. And so that's where he has sat. And then for the first maybe year and a half, it was me struggling really hard to stay there in that voice, and like that so much effort was expended trying to keep the voice consistent. And then I think in the years since then, it's just kind of loosened up, and I feel like I know him. I don't have to think about it. I can slip into him really easily. It's not hard. And he just lives right there with me because I've known him for so long. And so it's just a matter of how many hours I can do that.
True. That's a good point. Do you have
decrease?
Do you have a trick of the trade of how to soothe your throat after all the scratchiness?
Yes. So that just hurts. People frequently ask me what the solution is to that. And the solution is you're just gonna hurt. And you get to decide if it's worth it or not. So for Luffy, my voice has gradually gotten more and more similar to Chris Sabat's voice. And now that is just, I sound like this. And you just do damage to your instrument constantly and over years.
The part of the job, I suppose.
Yeah. Drink a lot of water and get ready for notes.
Go see some guys, have some whiskey. Eventually it all catches up to you.
Laryngoscopy.
Now, Brandon, for Shanks, it's a character that's such a huge icon, but isn't there as much as Luffy, and is quite, we'll say there's an involvement in the film. I don't want to spoil anything. What was it like to get to play in this movie?
It was wild. You said it really, really well, which is like he sort of looms large in the series, but he doesn't have a lot of screen time. He doesn't have a lot of lines. Like most of what I know about Shanks, I didn't learn from from doing the English voice of him. I learned from watching the show and hearing other people talk about him. So that's sort of how I got to know Shanks, is through what everyone else says. And getting to do this, where so oftentimes throughout the show, over the last 20 years, I sort of come in and get to do something sage or cool, and then leave in the space of about 1 or 2 pages, and that's kind of it. And with this, it feels like some sort of culmination or reunion, or I don't know, finally getting to put your feet up at home or something, because I do get to experience a little bit more, or play a little bit more with some really personal stuff with Shanks, which is a delight after just coming on and doing sort of, I don't know, like one-liners or doing a really cool pirate thing. No, this story, it means something to him, and I got to inhabit that for a while, which is a neat way to revisit a character like this.
Nice. Matthew, for Law, he has some pretty amusing moments in the film. What was it like getting to play for you?
Law for much of his run in One Piece is that individual who's 3 plans ahead of everyone else. He's this kind of cool, collected, always in control, never letting anything really ruffle his feathers too much unless it's Luffy, wrecking all those plans.
Of course.
And then begrudgingly accepting that it worked out okay in the end. And I think that extends itself somewhat to the story, but it's also fun to see him a little bit out of his element, to see some of the people that he cares about, some of his crew members, put him in uncomfortable positions, and himself having to just move forward and try and even wrestle a semblance of control when he's amongst a bunch of other characters that are also vying for control of the situation. When you have a group of people that are used to being leaders, often nobody ends up leading and you just end up moving forward anyway. And I think this was definitely an example of that for him. A lot of heavy sighs and a lot of grumbles beneath his breath and just going along with the flow anyway. So that was a lot of fun. A little fun flavor to bring to it.
Nice. And last question for everyone. What is something you'd like fans to know or be on the lookout for this film? We'll go back around. We'll start Matt and then Brandon and then Colleen.
As I learned, both just being part of the production and then watching it thereafter, the music on this is really special. And so outside of both watching the film, as I just discovered today, it's on Spotify, so you can go back and enjoy it and support the wonderful artists who were part of this as well. So
I think, in addition to the music, of course, that the thing to really be on the lookout for is that all of the characters' journeys are sort of ramping up in a really, really special way. And I think that this it speaks to that and it points to it. And I'm just sort of excited for how this fits into the greater One Piece arc, I guess, or the sort of universe as a whole. Yeah.
Other than your favorite cameos, which you should totally look out for. I'm a big Bartholomew fan. Anytime he's on screen, I just love it. But other than the cameos that you're looking for, I think it's fun to watch this movie through the lens of this is what it's like to live in a world full of pirates and corrupt Marines. And we frequently in the show, episode by episode, we're looking at it through the crew's eyes, or we're seeing what's happening as they're fighting a certain subset or as they're fighting for a certain subset. And this is like, these are the people that are behind all of that you're not seeing in those episodes, and how they are experiencing piratedom, and what that has done to their lives. And it's a really interesting perspective to like widen it and be like, oh yeah, pirates aren't great, except for these specific ones. So I feel like it's a great pause to look at it from, it's like that episode in any series where they like take a break and they look at it from a different perspective. That's what this feels like to me.
Nice. I like it. I feel that's a good explanation for it as well. Yes. Well, thank you all so much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you as well.
And wait, rocking the green game. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you to the cast, and thank you Crunchyroll and Toei Animation. So if you're a One Piece fan, this is an exciting new installment to the franchise, and if you want to bring your friends, this is a good one to start with because you do not need to be caught up on the episodes. You don't even have to have seen One Piece before to enjoy this exciting and beautiful, stunning film. So be sure to check out One Piece Film Red, coming to theaters starting November 4th. I'm Carrie Lane with FANVERSATION. You can find me everywhere online at Carrie D. Lane. That's Karidlane. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.